I want to see if I can sell these pieces and refinish them, quote unquote, without using any paint. My name is Sarah, and I like to take things that are ugly and beat up or pulled out of the trash and make them beautiful again. Welcome to my channel. So when I saw these at Goodwill for $10 each, I thought these are in great shape. I've got to buy them. You don't find pieces this cheap that often there. So I looked the pieces over, racked my brain, trying to decide, can I resell this or do I need to put work into it, like painting it, to update it? That one drawer glide was broken. The other drawer glide was fine. It worked great, actually. This is a Crawler brand. I don't know anything about them, but the quality of furniture is fantastic. They don't make stuff like this. You can't buy this. They're so nice. They're just dated a little. So I looked them over and, the one thing that I was concerned about was the hardware. That dates this piece a lot, and if I could change the hardware, I could update it, but that's a cost to put into it, and I know I'm not going to get top dollar out of these. And the drawback with this kind of hardware is it makes these marks on the front. And unless you sand it down, you're not going to get that out with cleaning. So the hardware has to go back on, or I get something with a larger print. This piece and the other piece also had a pretty good gash right in the front that I'll have to see if I can hide. Then also there's these nicks and like paint scratches of it must have bumped up against a wall or something. So I need to see if I can clean these off. Back to the drawer glide. And I went to go replace it, and I learned the hard way, don't just put a drawer glide on your drawer. Make sure it fits on the gliding part before you attach it, and this one did not. So I'm glad I did that. And I was trying to see, maybe I need to buy a different drawer glide, which is a bummer to put any more money into these because I know I won't get top dollar, but I want to avoid the hours of painting and refinishing. So I got my gardening shears out and decided to try cutting the tips because that's all that was stopping it from going in. And I was pleasantly surprised that these cut off very easily. So I trimmed very minimal amounts, tried it again, trim a little, tried it again, till I was okay with how it slid in. And it was not as smooth as I would have liked, but I stopped at one point because I didn't want this to, be super slippery, which maybe I could have erred the other way. I don't know. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I think we can just clean this up and sell it as is and get decent amount with low amount of work put into it. And I've seen people do this on YouTube, and I wanted to try it, see if this will work in my market. So I got my simple green out, and this cleans stuff off pretty good. I really hope it does not take off the finish because it is a little older. So it's not super strong, and maybe I could have put a poly top coat on the top. I don't know, but again, I was wanting to make this simple and quick, so I just cleaned it up, and my daughter was so nice to come and help me too. Now, on the legs, I was really excited that the white paint scratches came off with just some rubbing. So a lot of the scuffs were gone, and that made me happy that it was like, this really is not that beat up of a piece. It's pretty decent. Replacing the drawer glide wasn't hard. I carefully pulled the old one off, but then realized that it had also been glued on. So I took some sandpaper and lightly sanded off any rough areas so that the next drawer glide would sit nice and smooth, and was able to attach that. It's interesting, the screws that came with my drawer glide bag of multiples are so long that I cannot use them on any drawer that I've used so far. So I have to scrounge and find random screws, but thankfully that's in the back. Nobody should see that. For the hardware, I did wipe them off and clean them up a little bit. I did not boil them like I often do when I'm painting hardware because that, I think, takes a protective coat off of it too, and I did not want to do that. Just get them clean so they weren't sticky and yucky. And put those back on. I did give the drawers a nice drink with some Howard feed and wax. I thought if I'm doing minimal, I should at least spruce up the raw wood that's in there, so just to refresh it. Then I used some on the drawer glide parts in hopes that it would help the drawer glide go a little smoother. I don't know that it made much of a difference, but at least it is freshly waxed. To address the dings and nicks in the front in random places on these, I wanted to use these markers that I got for fixing like this stuff, and I couldn't find them. So I pulled out some stain and went around and tried touching every spot with stain, and it looked like it worked until it dried. Once it dried, it was very light, but by then I maybe touched it up a second time and it still was pretty light. Maybe I should have used a darker stain. I don't know. But I figured, well, this is how it is. We'll just move on. And I went ahead and staged the piece, ready to take pictures to post it on Facebook Marketplace. And I don't know if you've staged pieces, but it's like you go through all these ideas of how do I set this so it looks good? Because this is how I'm going to sell the piece. It needs to look new even though they're old. So staging it and lighting is important. I went ahead and listed these for $150. I figure if I painted them, the most I could get was $250 for the set. Stuff doesn't sell very high here where I live. $150 was high. I figured someone might ask me to go lower. I did not get any offers the first weekend, so I lowered the price to $130. I was going to post new pictures after finding my markers and touching up those areas so they looked a little better, but before I could post pictures, I had someone that wanted to come and buy them, and I was able to sell them for $125, and they were listed on Marketplace for about a week and a half. So that was really encouraging to me that this stuff does sell if you've got the right thing. So it worked. I hope this encourages you to find some pieces that take very little work. This is definitely a beginner-friendly project, and it was nice to have something easy to get some money, to have some more cash to put into more future projects. So I hope you've liked this, enjoyed it. I'm so glad you joined me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until next time.